Taurus, they're talking about you. There are people commenting on the change they've noticed in you, not to your face, but behind the scenes of your life, in private conversations, in silent thoughts, in observations they haven't yet dared to verbalize directly to you. You've become the topic of conversation, and the reason for this goes far beyond what you imagine. It's not about something you did. It's not about something you said. It's about something you're emanating. A completely different energy that has begun to manifest through you in recent weeks, and the people around you are feeling it without being able to understand exactly what it is. They just know that something in you has profoundly changed, and this is making them curious, intrigued, some even uncomfortable, because when someone truly changes, it mirrors for others everything they don't have the courage to transform in their own lives. What I'm about to reveal will give you a complete understanding of what's really happening. I'll explain why you've suddenly become so interesting to others, why people who barely paid attention to you are now watching your every move, why old relationships are reconnecting, why opportunities are arising from unexpected places. And most importantly, I'll reveal what all this attention means for your immediate future. Because there's a greater purpose behind it all, a purpose that will completely transform the direction of your life. Can you feel that you've become magnetic in a way you've never experienced before? Let me tell you something that will make immediate sense. You're not imagining it when you feel different stares, when you notice people seem more attentive to your presence, when you see conversations subtly shift when you enter a room. All of this is real. You've sent out such a strong, energetic signal in the last few weeks that it's impossible for sensitive people not to notice. It's as if you've been invisible for years and suddenly become impossible to ignore. And here's the part that will surprise you. This didn't happen because you consciously decided. It wasn't a strategy you planned. It was a transformation that happened inside you, so profound and authentic that it began to spill out without you having to do anything. You simply began to exist differently. And when someone changes their internal frequency, the external world has no choice but to respond. For Taurus individuals born between April 20th and April 30th, this attention is primarily coming from authority figures and people in positions of power. They are seeing you in a new light now, recognizing abilities they previously underestimated. For those born between May 1st and May 10th, the focus of attention is on your personal and romantic relationships. You have become inexplicably more attractive, more interesting, more desirable in the eyes of those who know you. And for those born between May 11th and May 20th, the conversation about you revolves around your creativity and unique talents that are finally manifesting in a way that is impossible to ignore. But here's what unites all Taurians right now. You've stopped hiding. Not dramatically or intentionally, but in a profound and energetic way. Something inside you decided it's time to be seen for who you truly are. And the universe is responding to this inner decision by orchestrating situations where you will be noticed, recognized, and valued. Are you ready to discover why it took so long for people to finally realize who you've always been? The reason no one is prepared for this change in you is simple. They've become accustomed to a version of you that was predictable, safe, and didn't threaten the status quo. You were the stable pillar, the reliable one, the one who was always there but never demanded attention. People leaned on you but didn't truly see you. You were functional in their lives but not fascinating. And now, suddenly, you've become fascinating. And that changes everything. When someone who has always been taken for granted suddenly becomes uncertain, interesting, unpredictable in their potential, it creates a chain reaction in the people around them. They start to wonder, what did I miss about this person? What else am I not seeing? What if I miss the chance to have this person in my life? That's why you might be noticing people treating you differently. Not because you've changed who you are, but because they are finally waking up to who you've always been. Taurus, what's really happening is that you've reached a point of internal saturation. For years, You've accumulated experiences, developed skills, cultivated wisdom, built strength, all silently, all behind the scenes, all without needing external validation. And now this accumulation has reached a critical mass. It no longer fits inside you. It's overflowing in the form of presence, confidence, magnetism. You've become so full of inner value that it's impossible not to overflow. And people feel it. They may not be able to put it into words. They may not consciously understand what has changed. But on an intuitive level, they recognize that they are in the presence of someone who has finally embraced their true power. And that is both attractive and intimidating. Attractive because everyone wants to be around powerful and authentic people. Intimidating because seeing you embrace your power mirrors for them everything they haven't yet had the courage to claim in their own lives. In the coming days, you will continue to notice this attention increasing. More glances, more interest, more people wanting your opinion, your presence, your time. And you will need to make important decisions about how to manage this new reality. Because not all the attention you are receiving is genuine. Some people are interested in you now simply because they have realized that you are becoming valuable. Not because they always valued you, but because they are afraid of losing access to you. Your Taurian wisdom will help you distinguish between those who have always seen you and those who are only now waking up because they have no other choice. Between those who want you because they recognize your true value and those who want you because they realize you are becoming inaccessible. This discernment will be crucial because part of your transformation involves learning to be selective about where you put your precious energy. Are you beginning to realize that not everyone deserves full access to you? The conversations about you also include speculation. People are trying to understand what happened. Some will create stories that you met someone new, that you changed jobs, that you went through some transformative event, but the truth is much deeper and more mystical than any external explanation they might imagine. What happened was internal. It was spiritual. It was a decision your soul made to finally manifest fully on the physical plane. For years, you may have felt like you were only living a fraction of your full potential. As if you were holding something big inside you, but didn't know how to release it. Well, that something decided to break free on its own. It no longer waited for your conscious permission. Your true essence grew tired of being imprisoned and began to break through all the barriers you had built. Fear of judgment, need for approval, worry of being too much for others. And when your true essence begins to manifest, it doesn't ask permission. It simply exists, and everyone around notices. That's why you've become the topic of conversation. Not because you're trying to get attention, but because your authenticity is so powerful that it's impossible not to notice. You're radiating something that most people spend their entire lives searching for and never find. Absolute truth about who they really are. Conversations about you also reveal something interesting about human nature. People talk about what fascinates or threatens them, and you have become both. You fascinate because you demonstrate that it's possible to transform profoundly without making a fuss. You threaten because your silent but powerful transformation exposes the narrative that many use as an excuse. The idea that real change needs to be dramatic, noisy, obvious. You are proving that the most powerful transformation happens silently, internally, and then manifests naturally on the outside. Taurus, one of the most important revelations I need to share is this. The reason no one was prepared for your transformation is because you were always underestimated. People looked at your calm and patient nature and mistook it for passivity. They saw your preference for stability and interpreted it as a lack of ambition. They perceived your loyalty and thought it meant you would never amount to anything. They were completely wrong. What they didn't understand is that you weren't standing still. You were building. You weren't being passive. You were observing, learning, accumulating internal resources. You didn't lack ambition. You simply had the wisdom to know that real growth takes time and doesn't need to be performative. And now, after years of silent construction, your internal structure is so solid that it can no longer be ignored. You have become a living monument to the power of patient and persistent transformation. The people around you are now having to completely revise their assessments of you. They are realizing that they misjudged you, that they underestimated you, that they didn't pay you the attention they should have. And this reassessment is generating all sorts of reactions, from genuine admiration to disguised envy, from renewed interest to resentment for having been wrong about you. All these reactions are valuable insights into the character of the people around you. What you need to understand at this crucial moment is that you owe nothing to anyone. You don't owe anyone explanations about your transformation. You don't owe anyone automatic access just because people suddenly recognized your value. You don't owe anyone false modesty to make others feel comfortable with your evolution. You've spent too much time diminishing yourself to fit the limited expectations others had of you. Now it's time to occupy your full space, even if it bothers some people. Conversations about you are also happening in dimensions you cannot see or hear. In the energy field, on the spiritual plane, in the realms where decisions about opportunities and connections are made. You are being discussed, evaluated, considered for things that haven't even reached your physical consciousness yet. Doors are being opened in your favor. People who can help you are being guided to your path. Situations are being arranged to put you in the right place at the right time. For Taurus natives who have recently felt resistance or tension from certain people, now you understand why. Your heightened energy is exposing the mediocrity some people choose to live in. Your courage to finally show yourself is highlighting the cowardice others have in doing the same. You're not doing anything wrong. You're simply existing at a higher frequency, and not everyone can or wants to rise to meet you there. Are you prepared to accept that your growth may mean the natural distancing of people who don't want to grow with you? The conversations about you also touch on something profound. You are inspiring change in others without even realizing it. Your silent actions, your discreet transformation, your way of being in the world now is serving as a catalyst for others to seek their own transformations. You have become a living example that it is possible to change, evolve, become more powerful without losing your essence. And that is a rare gift you are giving to the world. You will need to develop stronger boundaries. Because with all this attention also comes people who will want to extract your energy, your time, your wisdom without giving anything in return. They will want to ride on your growth without doing the work you did. Your ability to say no, to be selective, to protect your energetic space will be tested repeatedly. And each time you honor your boundaries, your energy will become even stronger and more attractive. Taurus, the secret reason you've become so interesting now is because you finally stopped betraying yourself. For years, you may have made concessions, accepted less than ideal situations, lowered your expectations to accommodate others' limitations. But recently, something inside you said enough, and you began to honor your truth, even when it was inconvenient or uncomfortable. This renewed integrity with yourself has created a magnetic field around you that attracts what is genuinely yours and repels what never was. People can sense when someone is living in complete integrity. It's like an energetic beacon that cannot be extinguished or hidden. And that's what you've become, a beacon. People are naturally drawn to light, especially when they've been in darkness. But you need to be wise about who you allow to get close. Not everyone who is drawn to your light has good intentions. Some want to use your light to illuminate their own paths without cultivating their own inner source of enlightenment. The transformation that's generating so much buzz isn't just about you becoming more confident or more visible. It's about you becoming authentic in a way most people never achieve. And authenticity is the rarest and most valuable thing in this world of masks and carefully constructed personas. You stopped performing and started being. And this simple yet profound shift has completely reorganized your energy. Conversations about you also include an element of mystery. People can't quite pinpoint what exactly has changed, but they know something is different. They look at you trying to decipher, understand, replicate what you have now, but what they don't realize is that it's not something you have, it's something you are. It's not a trick or technique that can be copied. It's the result of a deep internal process of becoming whole. You are about to enter a phase where opportunities will appear with increasing frequency. Offers, invitations, proposals that never reached you before, and you will need absolute clarity about what you really want, because not every opportunity that seems good will be good for you. Some will be distractions disguised as opportunities, trying to divert you from your true path. Your Taurian intuition, now sharper than ever, will be your best guide. What you need to know is that becoming the topic of conversation comes with responsibilities. You now have influence, even if you haven't consciously sought it. People are watching you, listening to you, being affected by you, and that means your actions, your words, your choices carry more weight. You don't need to be perfect, but you need to be aware of the impact you're having. Are you ready to accept that your example now matters not only to you, but to everyone watching your evolution? Taurus, the most important topic of conversation about you is possibility. You have become living proof that real change is possible, that people can evolve profoundly without losing their essence, that it's possible to become powerful without becoming arrogant, that you can be strong and still maintain the gentleness that has always characterized your sign. You are demonstrating a rare alchemy, transformation without loss of identity. People are talking about you because you've become a positive anomaly in a world that often promotes mediocrity. You're living on a frequency that challenges the limited narratives most people accept as truth. And when someone challenges the status quo, simply by existing in their full power, it creates ripples. These ripples are the conversations, the attention, the sudden interest. They are the universe recognizing and celebrating your courage to finally become who you were always meant to be. Over the next few days, observe how people interact with you. Notice the subtle changes, more attention, more respect, more curiosity. These changes aren't about them having changed, they're about you having changed so profoundly that they have no choice but to respond differently. You've altered the dynamics of all your relationships simply by becoming more authentic. And that's a powerful lesson. When you change internally, everything around you rearranges itself to reflect that change. The final revelation I need to share is this. You've become the topic of conversation because you're finally ready for the role that's always been yours. For years, the universe has been preparing you, testing you, strengthening you, and now you've passed every test. You've proven you can maintain your integrity under pressure, that you can grow without becoming arrogant, that you can be powerful without losing your humanity. And because of that, the doors that have always been closed are beginning to open. The reason no one was prepared is because they weren't paying attention to the silent construction you were doing. They'll see the end result and think it happened overnight. But you know the truth. You know that every day of inner work, every moment of resisting the temptation to betray yourself, every choice to honor your truth even when it was difficult, all of that was building the foundation of who you are now. And that foundation is so solid that nothing can bring you down. Share in the comments if you've noticed changes in how people treat you, if you felt more attention or interest coming from unexpected places. Your experiences will help other Tauruses understand that they aren't imagining these changes. Subscribe to the channel now, because what's happening to you is just the beginning of a massive expansion in your life. You'll need guidance on how to manage this newfound attention, how to choose the right opportunities, and how to protect your energy while sharing your gifts. Turn on notifications so you don't miss content that will support you in this phase of finally being recognized for who you've always been. You became the topic of conversation not because you sought attention, but because your authenticity is so powerful that it's impossible to ignore. The reason no one was prepared is because they underestimated you. But you never underestimated yourself. You always knew you had something special inside you. And now the world is finally waking up to what you always knew. Welcome to your era of recognition. You worked hard to get here. Now it's time to enjoy the fruits of your evolution.